Today, every single media outlet in the country has reported that one of the first men to be deported under Keir Starmer's one-in, one-out scheme, agreed with President Macron of France, one of the first people has now returned to the United Kingdom to claim asylum for a second time. He came back on a small boat, having been flown to France. Now, this is not just a failure. It raises absolutely fundamental questions about this country because of his reasons for saying he needed to come back. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, but more importantly, please help support the Patriot Fund. We're helping patriotic causes right up and down the country. You've heard it so many times before, but the link is below. Well, first of all, forgive me because I'm going to just go through the details of this case before I explain the really important implications of it, and I'll use these if you don't mind too much. So, a migrant previously deported under the UK's new one-in, one-out migration policy has returned to Britain less than a month after removal, igniting political controversy and scrutiny of the scheme's effectiveness. The man in question is an Iranian national who first arrived in the UK on a small boat on the 6th of August 2025, the very day that the one-in, one-out deal began operating. He was returned to France on the 19th of September, but re-entered the UK on the 18th of October aboard another small boat. He was identified through biometric testing. 42 people have been returned to France so far. Now, that's kind of the end of me reading anything out. And now I want to tell you what he said when he got to immigration in Dover. He said that he was now in trouble with the people smugglers because he still owed them money and he was supposed to be earning that through the British taxpayer and working illegally in the United Kingdom. And so now he's had to go back and say the following: I am a modern day slave and the slave masters based in Britain need me to pay off the indentured service. That is to say, it's cost me £10,000 to come to the United Kingdom, and unless I can claim £10,000 from the British taxpayer, or indeed claim and work at the same time, then I am in fear of my life in France. I'm going to tell you something that's going to leave you absolutely shocked. This is a valid reason to be given indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom. Yeah, what? That's a reason that you can stay, because you have to claim enough of the taxpayer to pay off the criminal gangs that brought you here. Yes, that is absolutely right. Of course, we've known about this for a little while, haven't we? First of all, we are pretending that these people are asylum seekers, but they're actually economic migrants. Part of what we've done is said asylum seekers aren't allowed to work in the UK because they're asylum seekers. Well, because they're actually economic migrants, of course they work illegally for people like Uber Eats and Just Eat and things like that. But we've also known that when they go round places in Africa, in the Middle East, and in this case, because this guy was Iranian, in Iran, they don't ask them for £10,000 to come to the UK. They say, listen, you'll make that money back when you get to Britain. Well, of course, if you're thrown out of the country a month after arriving, then that means that the people smuggler has lost £10,000. And that is something that they consider completely unacceptable. Now, Theresa May changed the law in Britain over modern day slavery, and I don't disagree because, well, once again, it comes down to illegal immigration, doesn't it? Or actually legal immigration in this case. What was happening was travellers, gypsies, Roma, whatever you want to call them, were coming from Romania, and they were operating slave gangs, principally begging on things like the London Underground. And because of that begging, they obviously would give the money into the gangs, and huge estates were being bought and paid for in Romania with all the money that was coming in. There was also some low-level theft from Romanians, but not at that stage. So, of course, now Theresa May wants to bring in a law to ensure that these modern-day slaves actually get some support. Now, had we not allowed Romania to empty all of its travellers onto the UK, we wouldn't have had this problem. But of course, we did allow that to happen, and we have accommodated them, and we've created, I've talked about tribal areas for Muslims, and indeed Stamford Hill, a tribal area for Jews, but of course there's also tribal areas for gypsies, Roma, whatever they're meant to be called, and they happen in places up north. So of course, the Modern Day Slaves Act came in. Well, of course, now what you can do is you can claim asylum in the UK, but you can also claim modern day slavery as well. And that is precisely what this Iranian man has done. He's turned around, he said, no, Actually, I lied. I wasn't an asylum seeker. I was actually a modern day slave. But now I'm in France. Now the people smugglers have got hold of me. I'm in trouble. And he's actually saying that the people smugglers put him back on the boat and forced him to claim again. Now, we've talked multiple times on the way that an asylum seeker can say anything in court, and the Home Office, if they get a comma wrong, will be ruled against. So this man now is going to go to the immigration court and he's going to say, I lied on my first application. I destroyed my documents in the English Channel. I've twice entered the United Kingdom illegally. I've once been deported for being an illegal migrant. I admit that I've paid people smugglers in order to allow me to get into the UK, and now you have to let me stay here because otherwise the people smugglers are going to kill me. If I don't get 10 grand off you, they're going to kill me. And the courts are going to say he's in fear of his life. The threat is genuine. He can stay in the United Kingdom. Now, there is another side to this, isn't there? He probably is genuinely in danger of his life. So we have to be hard and we have to say we can't save the life of everyone. Now, of course, that condemns some people to dying in their own countries, and I accept that. But the point is, if our solution to every problem in every country in the world is to move every single one of their penniless waifs and strays to the United Kingdom, then we will just be as poor and we will just be as culturally weak and we will just be as democratically deficient as the countries that they have fled. And therefore, there will be no chance at all of helping these people. In reality, you can talk about equal but different all day, but unless we have a strong United Kingdom, there is no hope for the people of the world who are destitute. Had it not been for Britain, America, the Anglosphere, the Soviet Union would still be ruling in Eastern Europe. The only reason that Romania is no longer under the jackboot of the Kremlin is because of the actions of Britain, America, and other countries. And so, yes, we can't help every single person in Iran, but the Ayatollah would have nuclear weapons now and would have caused a major conflict with Israel where millions of Iranians would have died had it not been for Britain and America and Israel and other countries from stopping them. And so we have to start saying that, yes, there are people who will die. And yes, we are unhappy about that, but there's nothing we can do about it in every single case. And that's why I say that actually many of the rights under the Human Rights Act that extend to British people cannot be afforded to other people in the world. You've watched videos on my channel where I said that the Afghan resettlement scheme was the first time that foreign nationals in their own country who had never been to the United Kingdom were able to effectively sue the British government. They didn't actually go to court, but they're effectively able to sue the British government in order to enforce the European Convention on Human Rights in Britain for people living in Afghanistan who were Afghans and who'd never come to Britain. That is a shambles. And so we will watch this case of the Iranian with interest, but as the law stands, as I say, he has a case and he has a right to remain in the United Kingdom. And that's even beyond what has come here. And you think about this, the one in, one out scheme, we've sent him away as one of just 42 people deported, and we've taken 42 people from France. So our one in, one out scheme involves us taking even more people because we've taken both the person we threw out, both the person that we took in on his behalf, and we took him back. Can you imagine if now we have a scheme of one in, one out, which is 2 in and 0 out? Which of course is what's happened in this case. I'm frustrated by this whole scheme, but there needs to be root and branch changes. I love the way that Lord Harmer and Baroness Hale say that getting rid of the Human Rights Act would have no implications for immigration. Well, let's just try it for a bit and see what happens. Lawyers are getting fat on this and we are getting significantly poorer as a result. Something has to be done about it. Thanks so much for watching this video. I want to tell you a little bit about what the Patriot Fund is doing for you. We are supporting people who are being bullied by police forces. We are supporting people who are being threatened, and we are supporting people who want to campaign locally. We've given out cameras to people to film their own experiences. We've given small grants. We've even taken people out for drinks during the Unite the Kingdom protest, because the reality is in this country, When I talk about big stories like the 2 in, 0 out policy, nobody is ever going to talk about these unless we get ordinary people to support our cause. And the whole aim of the government, the whole aim of the police is to beat people into the floor. You know, not everybody is Graham Linehan. And by the way, it was great to hear that he got away, he was not prosecuted for what he did. But time and time again, people like the Free Speech Union are seeing examples of where it's just an ordinary Tesco's worker, it's just an ordinary Christian being bullied. And if we don't have an opportunity to protect people through things like the Patriot Fund, that's never going to happen. And so I want to thank you, but more importantly, get clicking on that link. I will put out the update and the reminder of our videos. Also, just a big reminder to press the bell notification icon on the screen below, because that's the best way to absolutely guarantee you get all of my videos as soon as they are released. Okay then, until next time, arrivederci and goodbye.